So let's see if he can live up to that billing. So the left-hander serving at love all.
1 love.
Well, not the return that Sadilek would have wanted. Don't want to give anything away. That's a point already to Hu. And again, so Hu starting off long to the backhand, happy to go down this backhand to backhand. Being left versus right-hander, the backhand to backhand is down the line, not across the diagonal as it would be for right-hander against right-hander.
Love 3.
Unlucky there, Sadilek. Tried a quick switch to the other corner, just overhit it.
Oh, that's
3,
popped over.
1.
It's nice to get off the mark by any means that you do. That one just hit the top of the net, crept over. Not even the talents and athleticism of Hu could get to it.
4, 1.
So, Tony, Sadilek put out your charge, Ian Johnston, in the last round. Were you in here with me, or did you get to see any of it, maybe on tape?
No, I didn't get to see of it. I was in here, but he said that Sadilek was really clever, moved him around really well. So that needs to be his plan here, I think.
Yeah, if he lets Hu stand on that backhand corner and hit backhands and forehands at will, then Hu will certainly be too fast and too powerful. So I think this is about Sadilek getting wide of Hu's forehand when he's not expecting it.
One, 6.
Not able to do it there. Seems drawn to playing to Hu's backhand, but Hu hoovering up the points. Well, that one he did take, despite sticking to the same tactic. Maybe Sadilek knows more than we do. But he'll need to demonstrate that pretty quickly to save the first game at 6-2 down, up to 15 points, best of 3 games. Fast serve across court, and that's the one that we were talking about.
6-3.
Really good, wasn't it? Right in the corner. See how close this is to the very corner, this backhand. Look at that, and at pace. That's a great shot.
What a great shot. He's going to need a few of those. See the concentration for Sadilek. Where's the serve going to go? In with the forehand, but just rushed it slightly. So, Jun Chao certainly taking the ball early. Fast left-hander. Very punchy, compact strokes. Does look like Grunewald, doesn't he?
8.
Yeah, he does actually. He's got a very compact backhand. Yeah, absolutely. Takes it quite early. See there?
Yeah, really gets behind the ball and punches it. Marc Duran from Spain,
8-4.
right-hander, similar kind of pump action backhand. Don't felt like Marc really got it going yesterday. So he's out, the last Spanish player out. But the bald warrior here taking charge. You see how fast these bats are, Tony, as they bounce it on the bat before
9-4.
They're not slow bats.
No, they're quite quick, and without spin, that does make them quite difficult to control, but these players are so good that they still manage to control it at very high pace.
And that was so wide of the forehand.
4-10.
See the width that he gets on that one. Too far to get to. Even if Sadilek had got that one back, the next ball clearly was going to go quite hard down the line. The only hope for Sadilek was that he would miss that ball or play it slowly.
5-10.
Well, 5-10. It's not a bad achievement to get to 5-10. Win 1 point in 3 against someone of this level. I've got a feeling that Sadilek is hoping for a little bit more. Fast serve across court. That's a great serve.
11-5.
Who had no problem.
Yeah, it's a good serve, but Hu is so dangerous on that forehand. If Sadilek was watching Hu yesterday in the same match I did, that's why he's staying off that forehand so much, because it has real power.
Great. So he's
11-6.
So his tactic needs to be to get wide to Hu's forehand, and then he's got to deal with Hu cracking it down the line.
Yeah, he has to hit with real accuracy and power when he goes to the forehand, otherwise he'll pay for it.
So is this your man for the championship, Tony?
Oh, I hate giving the kiss of death to anyone.
7-11.
And the Tony West curse has already been given to Mr. Fleming this year, as I said from the beginning. But Hu certainly is a big danger.
Yeah, just to be clear, Fleming's number 2 seed for the competition and still in the tournament.
8-11.
But Tony thinks he'll win it, so he won't.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, maybe let's hope not. So Thomas Sadilek from Uherski in the Czech Republic. Goes for the big backhand across court. But it's just too much to ask for him to get the power that he needs to prevent a good counter hit. He's won the Czech qualifier not only last year but the year before as well. He's done better than he did last year. Went out in the group stages last year, did Thomas. They'll be pleased he's in the last 16. $2,000 if you go out at this stage.
12-9.
So good weekend's work, albeit with months of practice and years of table tennis training behind it as well.
Great change of tactics here from Sadilek. He's gone back to defending, chopping well away from the table, and he's pulling himself back into this game. He's still only 3 points behind.
Yeah, 10-5 and now 12-9. Feel that if he's going to go back, he's probably better to go back and defend rather than go back and attack.
9-13.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think if he can vary the spin, vary the speed, that's probably going to cause Hu more problems than just going backwards and hitting it hard at him.
Oh, and that was exactly what I've been encouraging Sadilek to do. He did it well, but look what Hu does with it. Across to the forehand. There's no holes. No holes in his
fast arm on that forehand.
Sadilek does it again. Look at that. Oh, unbelievable. Fantastic for both players.
10.
Now then, that's where Sadilek really got hold of it. Might be a bit late for this game, but are we going to see a more explosive Sadilek in the second, even if he goes out? Because who's got game point here for the
Well, I hope
first?
so. I'll really enjoy watching shots like that if he can keep pulling them off. That was incredible.
(15-10) game match, Mr. Hu.
So, 1 game to love to the Chinese player. Junqiao Hu, Bald Chow, or the Bald Warrior. Same Chinese coach. Chinese coach can play left-handed, the way he waves his hand. So he knows what he's doing. And Thomas Sadilek, a lot of work to do. Great crowd here at the Ali Pali. Hu taking in some water. Towel to keep him dry. Get the sweat off his head, also off his hands. And they'll play with the other bat this time around. They leave the bat on the table. They go around to the other end. You play with the bat that the other player played. Shui Liang, victor in the last game. Texting home through to the quarter-final, guys. So good works from him so far. Not bad if you're putting out Lubomir Pichte in the last 16. It's a bad draw for Shui.
Second game, Thomas Sadilek to serve level.
Okay, so Thomas Sadilek will want to get off to a much better start than he did last game. He always seemed to be 3 or 4 points behind. Couldn't quite pull it back, so he needs to get a better start this time.
1 love. Love 2.
Oh, there we go. Really strong on the backhand side, Sadilek.
Yeah, so an increase in aggression. You can see he's decided to pump up the energy, bouncing around more. He's going to up the ante here. Oh, and he got that one back. Defending, that's okay. Well. He's tuned into a different level and been able to implement it straight away. And often, even if you've got the new right tactic and the right mental approach, it's hard to implement it immediately, Tony, but he's done it.
Yeah, it did really well there. Kept that backhand so low. It just clipped the top of the net as it went over, but it's so difficult to keep it low there anyway. Fantastic start from Sadilek.
Yeah, little acknowledgement from Thomas that just clipped the net on the way over. I don't think Hu was going to get that back anyway. Well, who would have thought that? 4-love, second game. That gives Ball Chow something to think about. Oh, another big one, and he just gets away with it. It's all going Thomas Sadilek's way now.
Yeah, I think that's 3 on the trot, isn't it?
Well, it certainly gives him a good start. And the question is whether he can hold a 5-point lead and maintain it now. He's got a cushion. If he can go point for point from this stage, he'll win 15-10, of course.
Yeah, so certainly done what he needed to do here. Turned it around from what happened at the beginning of the first game and has brought out a nice, comfortable little lead at the moment.
Yep. Oh.
1-6.
So the left-hander playing usually the fast backhand serve. That time, his own side of the table, bounced up and off the end. So he loses that point, 1-6. Bit of there for
6-2.
Last16. Can't begrudge him that one. So Sadilek serve at 6-2. Fast serve to the forehand, then into the backhand. Well, he's got
7-2.
Hu moving around side to side more and getting him back from the table just a little bit. And we know that he likes to stay up to the table and pound those backhands early. And Sadilek's found a way to stop him doing that. Beautiful backhand from Sadilek, but he came back amazing. Well played, both players. Real power from Hu, then the big rangy backhand from Thomas Sadilek, and it came back just as hard. But still with a 4-point lead.
4-7.
You won't need that.
Yeah, good serve from Hu there. He varied it. He had been just sort of kind of throwing in the backhand serve quick down the line, but decided to mix it up, threw in a pendulum serve, took the point.
You can see he takes his fingers off the handle of the bat altogether to play the serve when he serves with his forehand. Has to get extra degrees of movement in his wrist as he tries to spin the ball on the serve there. Big wrist action, and then you can see him put his bat back into his hand. He's got a bit of a backhand favoured grip, hasn't he, some of the time? Just switches it slightly to play the forehand. It's quite interesting. Normally that takes up some time. It's not taking him any extra time, it seems. Not too worried by that. So good Chinese support.
Seven, 6.
Pressure just beginning to tell on Sadilek's backhand there as Hu's working his way back in this game. Thomas has hit so many of those on the trot that I was wondering how long he could keep that up.
Yeah, back to 7-6. So Thomas got to be solid now. Well, he does
6-8.
Question mark for Hu. Not happy with himself. But I think that Sadilek's come out in the second much stronger than the poor start that he had in the first game.
Yeah, he hit another great backhand there, and it's such a long, powerful stroke that you feel it can't be this consistent all the way through a match, but he's only missed it once this game. Oh, there's the second one.
7,
He's got to be brave. If you mistime it, you're gonna miss it. That one went under the net, so 15 centimetres out with that backhand, under the net. So that's how small the margins are between success and failure. Sometimes they're missing only by a quarter or a half of a centimetre is the difference between winning a point and losing a point.
8-all.
Even with that level of technique, Sadilek, you can see that he can't control it as well as he needs to. But of course, if he doesn't hit hard, then he's giving Hu too much control and chance to be aggressive himself. Short serve from Sadilek.
8-9.
Goes for the backhand again. Well, he's got to go for it. He's got to go on. It didn't. He's got to keep playing his game. Got to stay open. I think getting the after the short serves, getting the length is important, getting the width is important. You can't afford to just block around, as he's done in some of the last rounds of the tournament so far. That's beautiful from Chow.
Yeah, really well played that from Hu. What we saw there, Sadilek had missed a couple of backhands, and he just took a bit off the pace that time, and Hu was onto it like a flash, forcing Thomas away from the table.
Yep, and again you can see slightly different grip from Hun Chao when he plays his forehand compared to the backhand. Just moves it slightly to get his forehand in. Forehand serve from the backhand corner.
11-8.
Directly from the serve. It's gone from 7-2 to 11-8
Double
something.
point ball from Mr. Hu.
Yeah, and that little short serve into the mid-table has been very successful for Hu. So certainly on this double point, Thomas needs to at least get this ball back in play.
Yeah. To be up and then down 11-8, and the other guy hasn't used his double point ball, which he's now going for. This will make it 13-8 to Jun Chao Hu if he converts this one. Big concentration and planning. Better flip. Same return of serve again, but Sadilek made it.
13.
Wasn't good enough to take the point though. Good backhand down the line from Hun Chao. Wasn't a great backhand down the line though. Sadilek needs to pick up those sorts of points. 2 points away from victory for the Chinese player.
8-14. Double point ball from Mr. Sadilek.
Well, that's an obvious one. No reason not to.
Might as well give it a go now. I'm sure we'll see him go for one of his big backhands if he gets a chance.
Yeah. Looking back, maybe he should have used it as he was being caught in the middle of this game. Of course, you don't know what's going to happen later. Big forehand from Thomas. Still in it. Crowd just encouraging him to win 1 or 2 more points. Very popular player. So, for a place in the quarterfinals, this point for Jun Chao Hu. See the backhand grip, fast down the line, backhand to backhand. That's what we need from Sadilek.
He's not going down easily, is he? Great shots, pull out when you're 5 match points down. Look at that
power on that. Went straight past him. And, you know, he's tried it, worked, and some haven't. That's not enough. Goes for it again. Oh, what a beautiful stroke down the line from Thomas. And then big forehand across court.
12-14.
He retrieved that and turned defence into attack beautifully in that rally.
I thought this is absolutely brilliant. Look at that shot there. That was so clever. Fantastic battling from Sadilek.
And that's the guy that's not winning. Brilliant, brilliant ping pong. That shot there, just well placed, wasn't it, against the movement of the opponent. Again. Oh, he's decided to put the kitchen sink in.
13-14.
And, well, he's match point down, and he will be again even if he wins the next point. But the next point's 14 all and sudden death. Could he get back into it?
Look at how well he's having to play to win a point, but at the moment he's pulling it off one after the other. Fantastic stuff.
So, more bravery required from the Czech. There it is. 14-10 to 14 all. What a recovery from Thomas Sadilek. And now, match points to Jun Chao Hu remains.
Yeah. Game
point to Thomas Sadilek of the Czech Republic. And you can see the crowd want to see a third and final decider here.
It was actually 14-8 down, Colin. We played his double point. Some comeback.
Yeah. All on this one. Sudden death in the second. A lifeline for Thomas Sadilek. What a recovery. 14. That's the biggest recovery we've seen in the whole championship so far. Taking him to 3. If we can keep playing like that, the third's going to be an absolute scorcher.
Wow, fantastic recovery from Sadilek. I was absolutely amazed by the serve that Hu put in on that last point. He'd been having such success with that little forehand one, and then Sadilek came all the way back and he threw in, but went back to that long backhand serve.
Back to the backhand serve.
There we are. He'll, I don't know, be discussing that, I'm sure, now with his coach.
Well, of course, we always say if he'd done that from the start, he might have won it 2 straight, but it's very, very difficult to play at that level for any length of time. Maybe 1 or 2, and then one's going to miss and you've got to rethink it. But to play so many world-class shots and rallies, and that little forehand dink down the line that he did, I think really set him up with a bit of confidence. After that, he just went for it, played freely, and that's worked for him.
Final game,
yeah,
Mr.
personally, I think
Hu
the
to
first few
serve
points of this
level.
game absolutely key. If Sadilek does that again, gets them on and gets confident, keeps hitting it, he can win this. Cause a major upset.
The crowd are delighted with that. Organised applause now. So Junqiao Hu of China serving first in the 3rd and final game. Beautiful flick wide of the forehand, just caught the edge of the table. It counts, I don't think Junqiao would have got to that one anyway. So, for the first time, Sadilek in the lead.
2-love.
Who's really looking under pressure now, Colin? See a lot of concern on his face every time he misses, getting very frustrated.
Yeah, and 2-love, of course, means that he's lost the last, how many points? 7? 8?
Net serve.
Yeah, it'll be 7, won't it? Because one was a double point. Amazing run by Sadilek.
Brilliant run. When will it end? There it ends. Okay.
2-1.
So that'll help to ground Junqiao Hu's mind. Still feeling for it. Trying to get his stroke production right, get the feel onto the bat. Goes around to play the forehand, doesn't make it. Well, Ian Johnston went out to Thomas in the last round and just said that Thomas was such a clever player. He was able to soak up his big shots, play it to the other side, get him off balance. Can he do it at what is, frankly, the next level up? But he's done it well so far. Tried to go down the line, Thomas, but too much wrist, and you don't get the grip with these bats to make the wrist as effective as you would with a high-friction bat. Now that was magic from Thomas Sadilek. What you saw there was the bald warrior playing into the crossover there of Thomas, and he moved across, was happy to play his backhand, got it back into the corner there, and again from the crossover. So the player's moving it around, not just into the backhand, but around the backhand side, and particularly wide of the backhand and into the playing elbow. And the player's got to get their own body out of the way before they can play a good shot. Difficult to do at speed, and that's why they pick those particular points on the table to play to, and then also try and catch the other player by surprise. That one went wide of the forehand, and he got a lot of risk on that one as well, didn't he, Tony?
Oh, it's so impressive this from Sadilek. He's just not making any errors, and although yes, he is clever, he's proving himself to be capable of hitting with real power as well.
Yeah, I think what's enabled it, he's got his timing now on the topspin of the ball, and that enables him to hit it harder without the ball going off the end of the table. It makes the ball dip once it goes over the other side of the net. So the topspin, didn't get it there, went too hard, and you see it's off balance. Generally speaking, when you're off balance, you have to tone it down a little bit. But yeah, the topspin on the ball makes it act like an upside down aeroplane wing. You get the low pressure underneath it, and it pulls the ball down in a looping action over the net and down onto the table. And while you can get a lot more of that in table tennis with the high friction rubbers,
3-6.
These players are able to get just a little bit, and sometimes that little bit is required and enough, and they can hit the ball hard without it flying off the end of the table. Very, very clever. Now that was a soft Sadilek, followed by the big one.
7-3, change the sides.
It's so impressive, it really is. I mean, I think, look at that, that actually hit the sideline. So difficult for Hu to get across there in time. And with real power.
Thomas has found his sweet spot. Long long serve, and then first one he played it deliberately slow, got the slower return as a result, and then cracked it across. Irish contingent.
7-3.
Gavin there was coaching John Murphy after being knocked out in the qualifiers, watching with interest. And there's the consistency that Sadilek needs. Oh, that was so close. Another attempted winner. Wide of Junxiaohu's forehand. See that? It goes, and then the forehand down there, and then backhand across. Didn't quite make it, but he's been absolutely in a purple patch. You can't get them all on Tony at that level.
Well, you can't, but I don't think Hu's varying it enough. He seems to hit the ball at the same pace fairly consistently, and Sadilek's just got used to that.
Well, is it a Sadilek classic where he reels in the opponent? He's done it against so many players. I didn't think after the first it was going to be possible for him to do so, but this has been fantastic. So both players have used their double point ball. Third and final game to 15 points. Who's serving at 5-7? 2 serves each. Take it in turns.
6-7.
Great pick up there from Hu off that one that had caught the top of the net. Just got his wrist down really quick and picked it up there. You see that? Just dropped his wrist and lifted up the back of the ball.
Yeah. Suited a compact backhand, and he's got one. Bent his knees a little bit, just picked it up to get it over the net when it was lower. Who will be delighted with that? And you can see that just picked himself up in his body language. Oh, another lucky one. Good recovery from Hu. Sadilek in, that time instead of the big backhand, came across to play from the crossover, the forehand at the end. Great stuff from Thomas Sadilek. Lucky there. Hu, great recovery, and then from the middle, beautiful from Thomas. He played that ball wide of the forehand many times. That time went into the backhand as he saw Hu moving across to cover it. Well, went for the classic again. Fast serve down the line. If it comes back to the backhand, go wide across. That's great stuff, but 2 that he's missed recently and put Hu back in it, really.
Yeah, that's the only problem with Sadilek. He's playing so well, and he's still only 1 point ahead.
That's right. That's right. Puffed his cheeks out on that one. What does he need to do next? There it is again. He made it. Well,
fantastic. That service, that return of serve by Hu, I thought was brilliant. I thought that had to win the point. And look how quickly that 42-year-old got over there, and then back again in position to play that backhand. Fantastic movement.
Yeah. Classical tick at 100 miles an hour. Bang. Great shot. Oh, he got it back. Well played, Thomas. So some really, really powerful shots there. It played as a change of pace. Both players playing some great ping pong there. But again, it goes to the check. 7-10. Now, if Thomas wins this point, that would be 11-7 with Thomas having 2 serves to come. He's been troubled by Hu's service a few times. And again,
10-8.
Junxiaohu wins quite a few points direct from the serve. The crowd really getting into this. Packed out here at the Alexandra Palace.
Big deep breath there from Sadilek, getting himself ready for one final charge at the winning line.
That's right. So, final stages. Who thought about coming to play a backhand from the forehand side, managed to correct it and play the backhand.
Who really firing himself up now, letting out a big roar every time he wins a point.
Yeah, the warrior. And he's only 25 years of age, Tony. Great rally. good control. Oh, beautiful play. Nice backhand punches from Hu, and then when it came to his forehand, he managed to get a lot of topspin on this pressured forehand. There it goes, forehand, and then he was there for it. You can see his right foot comes up off the floor. Look at that movement.
Oh, the standard this year, Colin, this is good enough for any round of this tournament.
Well, it's interesting you say that. Deng Yaping, the great Chinese female world champion, picked this man out when he was a young player and said he's likely to be a future world level player. And well, he hasn't quite done that. We can see what he is capable of.
10-11.
He's played for his Chinese province team in table tennis. Done his university course. Works in telecoms, but plays a few hours a day still. Certainly on the way into this championship.
That's a sharp back. A good tight serve, a reasonable flick for Thomas, but look how quickly he takes that backhand.
Yeah, a little bit of extra power he found there. So that squares at 11-all, I think.
Yeah, really early as well, wasn't it? That ball wasn't over the back white line before he hit it.
Indeed. See the backhand grip there? And it is the backhand he uses direct from the serve. Thomas just popped the ball with a little bit of topspin there. You can see it kick over the net, and that was enough to take the ball off the end of the table. That's what topspin will tend to do. Brilliant thinking work from Thomas Sadilek. Now, how can he outwit this talented 25-year-old Chinese player? That's a great backhand from Thomas. Spreading him wide of the forehand. That's what we were saying that he needed in the first game. He's managed to nail it a few times. Really got back into this match.
11-13.
And that's a 2-point lead. No more double pointers to come. Frustration from Hu. An absolute delight for Thomas Sadilek. So a little towel down. He's entitled to at this stage. Taking his time. And is this the right call on service? Go for the forehand pendulum serve? I think so, Tony.
Yeah, I agree.
Another pressured backhand down the line.
12-13.
Chow's found a way to just hit his backhand a little bit harder. That just creates enough pressure to take the ball off the table. Just wide. 12-13. First to 15. 14-all makes it sudden death. No fingers on the handle there. Get extra wrist on it. Backhand down the line. That time Thomas goes for the backhand down the line.
13-all.
It was a smart move, I think. Couldn't quite convert it. So he plays backhand, and instead of going across, went down the line again, dropped into the net. Hu very, very happy with that recovery. Back to 13-all. But now 2 points on serve for Sadilek would give him the match. Let's see if he can get any advantage from starting the rally. Oh, he's overhit it, played it from the crossover. He did a beautiful one earlier from the crossover, but that's two that he's missed into Chow's backhand.
Yeah, it was a clever return, I thought. It had been flicking that wide to the forehand a lot, and that time just took a bit of pace off and aimed at the crossover.
Yeah. Clever return of serve. So these mistakes are not just unforced, they're being forced by the opponent, giving them difficult things to do, making them think, giving them the unexpected. So, match point. Hu. He wants this point, doesn't he? Oh, he's made a mistake on return of serve. He's done two great backhand attacks on return of serve, but that one didn't make it. Would you believe the score?
Well, I certainly wouldn't have believed it when he was 14-8 down in the second game. What a comeback from Sadilek. And again, he's saved another match point.
14-all.
So, 14-all, final game, sudden death. Quarter-final place at stake. $3,000 to the winner, minimum, if they win again after this. $20,000 for the winner of the championship. 1 point, but it's Hu that's doing the serving, and that's got to be a little bit of an advantage. Forehand serve. Thomas Sadilek took it. How did Thomas Sadilek turn that match around and make a victory? The supporters absolutely thrilled. Popular winner. Hu must wonder how that got slipped. He had match point upon match point at the end of the second game. But the winner from the Czech Republic and through to the quarterfinals, Thomas Sadilek against Hu from China. The Czech goes through. We'll see him later on in the quarterfinals this evening.